you doing, everybody? Rod Steele with another YouTube review with another G1 Transformer. As you can see before me on this table is Megatron. Megatron, the most diabolical leader in Decepticon history. He was there. He's basically the reason the Great War started.
It's crazy.
He kicked the shit out of Orion Pax, and if he wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't have had Optimus Prime. What's there to say about Megatron? He wants to take over Cybertron, basically enslave the Autobots, destroy them all, and he doesn't care about anything. He's maniacal. He just wants to destroy everything that's in his way. It doesn't matter what it is. Destroying the planet with the Great War is just a casualty of war to him. In the G1 series, he's after they're fighting with the Autobots and they crash land on Earth. Fuck that phone! Just fucking hit the end button. They crash land on Earth, and then the battle ensues between the Autobots and Megatron. And this is how Megatron looked for our toy. This is what we got. And the funny thing about it, this wasn't even a Transformer. This was actually another toy. It was like a pellet gun that was out in Japan. And when the cartoon came out and they needed a toy for it, they didn't design a new toy. They took a toy that they had and they gave us this, which is pretty much like G1. I mean, as you know, it's not like the Optimus Prime. It doesn't look exactly like Megatron, obviously. But he has a lot of metal on him. His legs are really heavy, which makes his joint. Well, eventually, in time, the joints in his legs got really loose because of how heavy his legs are. And I know you see a lot of Transformers where you have Megatron, and the actual correct transformation for this guy is to have the gun barrel in between here. But you don't really necessarily have to have that. You can have it up on his shoulder, like in the cartoon. Like I said, he's just heavy from the waist down. He's just heavy. I mean, you got this wacky pelvis thing happening here with the trigger right there. I mean, it's kind of comical. You know what I mean? It's just comical. It's a very comical looking thing right there. He does have his fusion cannon on his arm, right there, and it does fit very nicely compared to like the Masterpiece, where it is a little oversized. This is a very decent size for him. It's actually a little. I wouldn't say it's actually too large. I'd say it's actually pretty good. But he does have that. The face. I don't know if that's actually Megatron's face in there. He's odd looking. He's an odd Transformer, but he is. You have to respect it because it is G1 Megatron. This is another one. If you're collecting Transformers, you should try to have in your collection. But of course, like Optimus Prime, if you don't have one, you pay money for him, which means, like most people, if you don't have one and you don't have a lot of money to spend. It's something that you probably won't have right away. It's something that you might, if you want a decent one, or a nice one that, transforms nice, has all its pieces on them, you're going to pay a little bit for them. This is actually a pre-rubbed Megatron. There was a version that actually had the little rub, and had the Decepticon symbol, but there are pre-rubs which actually had Decepticon symbol, sticker, on the handle of the gun. And, that's pretty much it for his robot mode. I mean, it's another toy where it's, you played in the dirt with it. You didn't really have to pose him. You dug a hole out in the grass and you played with them. You just, you threw them around at each other. That's why these Transformers nowadays, if you can find one in mint condition, it'll blow your mind because these toys have just gone through so much abuse. And maybe that's why they are still held together. Because look at this metal that this guy is made with. I mean, it's just, he's fucking great. But, you know, when we were kids, we didn't see this as a weird-looking figure. To us, this was Megatron. It didn't matter. When I was a kid, I don't remember this looking weird, as weird as it does now. I don't remember it, you know, not looking like Megatron. In my brain, this was Megatron. But I'm going to do the transformation right now. I'm actually going to stop the video to do the transformation, because the transformation is a little hairy. And I don't want to end up like a Dionysus video with 2 pieces of Megatron. So I'm going to carefully turn off the video and then carefully transform Megatron. Alright everybody, this is his alt mode. Megatron turned into a giant gun. A giant handheld gun. He was a big ass transformer, but he transformed into a gun that was able to be handheld sized by Starscream. So he compacted quite a bit when he transformed. But here he is. He is a Walther P-38. You can see right here, it's actually engraved in here. Now this part is plastic, but it's engraved right there. It says P-38. And it does say Walther on it. It actually has a serial number in here. That's just crazy the detail that went into this. It does have Takara Company Limited 1974. So you can see the copyright that was made for this. You know how long ago this gun was made. How long ago this mold was. 1974. It's quite some time. But the Walther P-38 is actually not much bigger than this. This is almost replica size. Actually more so than the Masterpiece. The Masterpiece, they want to say it's a replica, I don't know. But actually the Walther P-38 Masterpiece is considerably larger than the Walther P-38. This is actually pretty close to the size that it was. This might be a hair under, but this is pretty close. The Germans used it, I believe, back in World War II. And now this gun did come with the accessories. A good way if you don't have the accessories, like the butt and the scope, whatever that would be, the extended barrel, and they sell Chinese knockoffs on eBay. You can pick them up for about $10, and they look exactly the same, because there's no difference in between the black plastic that was then and now. So you can pick one up, and granted, if you're not trying to get some like crazy authentic, everything's got to be original on it. There's people out there that want everything original, but if you're just like, if you just want to collect this piece and you want to have the pieces with it, you can do something like that and get a $10 piece off it and just take the accessories from it. But this was a great toy as a kid. It was a heavy ass gun. And when you're a kid, it's a fucking gun. What did we like when we were kids? Guns and Transformers. This motherfucker was 2 in 1. But anyway, if you notice here, he still has the slot for the pellets you can drop. He's like, before he was designed out for a Transformer, he was whatever he was with the car or whatever Japanese thing. But he shot pellets out, and this trigger on here, I believe, is broken. It's probably the spring, but he doesn't fire pellets no more. But when you got the Megatron and the Optimus Prime standing side by side, it's just a feeling of nostalgia. And I know a lot of the younger kids might not really get how much these toys meant to a lot of us when we were younger and we actually played with these toys. These were our heroes. Optimus Prime was our hero. He probably is nowadays, but it was just G1 back then. It was just so amazing. And to have these toys was, you got them for like Christmas and your birthday. You didn't just get them because you got them. You got them because it was Christmas, it was an Easter present or something, and you got one, and we were so excited to have one. And that's why these figures mean so much. And it's because they have a lot of memorable. I don't know how to fucking say that word, but it brings back a lot of memories, and they're good times because you were young and you were stupid and you had no worries in the world. But anyway, if you're a collector, starting out or whatever, I would recommend you picking up this piece. Like I said, you might not be able to pick it up right away, but if you can find a cheap one with just the gun, like I said, you can get the accessories. Eventually, you can put one together. So anyway, this is Rod Steele with G1 Megatron, and adios, muchachos.
Come on, drink it beer, drink it wine, let's